I promise you guys. Next time we're gonna do a comic book movie, I promise! Last time we saw the X-Men franchise, we saw Wolverine get recruited by Professor X and Magneto for some strange reason. This is not really a continuation, it kind of is. Except it's 50 years in the future. We don't exactly know what happens in the 50 years since the end of the Wolverine, but if you guys know, drop a comment. While that's not necessarily one of them, let's talk about this movie's 4 glaring problems. First and foremost, when did Kitty Pryde get the ability to send people's consciousness to... Consciousness. Consciousnesses? That thing. When did she get to change? You know what I mean. I really don't know. Was this ever a power of hers in the comics? Was this how they did it in the comic book, Days of Future Past? Because if it is, please, once again, drop us a comment, inform us. And even if it was, I would like some sort of explanation by the movie to say, oh hey guys, guess what? Phasing somehow relates to time travel. Even in my own mind of, exploring the things of sci-fi, I don't see how phasing time travel. Once again, if you know, comment, please. This must be what non-comic book readers feel like. Second, the serum that Professor X and Beast were using. Sure, I get that during First Class, Beast was developing, this formula, essentially. It went wrong and that's why he turned blue in the first place. But why does it heal spinal damage? How? Physically, I'm saying it's spinal damage. How does it keep fixing and then not fixing, undoing that fixing? It's not how, yeah. And if it has no negative effects for Beast, why does he stop taking it? Because, in the future he stays blue all the time. Are we supposed to assume that, when he jabs himself with all of those vials at the same time and reads human, that somehow it does the opposite effect after the serum wears off and he just gets an immunity to it? They never say. So, once again, please, explain, movie. So in short, it's a bit of a cop-out. And personally, I think it would be even more depressing to see Professor X choose to give up his powers and not gain the ability to walk. Like Wolverine just walks into the mansion and Charles is sitting there in his chair, bottle in hand, drinking away his problems. Because he doesn't want to hear people in pain. Because remember, the pain he's referring to is not spinal injury pain. It's from the pain of hearing people suffering. Thirdly, at the beginning of this movie, Wolverine has his adamantium claws back. Because if you remember, in the Wolverine, the Silver Samurai stripped his adamantium from his claws, so where did it come from? This one's not that big of a deal, honestly. They had 50 years to find more adamantium, and then, as one of our friends Ian postulated, Magneto could have just put it back on his claws. No big deal. Still, like before, a small mention wouldn't have gone astray. Would have been great. And lastly, but certainly not least, Peter Dinklage did not get enough to do. He was the big bad, and he got nothing to do. Kind of like the Winter Soldier, I don't know where this story arc would have gone, but it's Peter Dinklage. They could have done something. Come on, guys. So, yeah, they tried to restart the franchise, and it bombed. Complete turd. Age of Apocalypse is gonna suck. Bye! I'm sorry. I know you guys saw that joke coming from as soon as I started it. It does my bad. Notice that no one's acting made it onto that list of bad stuff. That's because the writing only reinforced the great actors they had. James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Sirs Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, Jennifer Lawrence, Hugh Jackman, the list goes on. I also like that Mystique became more of her own character, much more like her comic book counterpart. She's a rogue agent instead of Magneto's lieutenant. This was a fun movie. It was a big deal for the franchise and it made the big impact on the story and the audience that it should have. If you check out IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, you'll see what I mean. So if you guys have the time and the funds, go check it out in theaters. And I can't speak to the quality of the 3D, I didn't see it, but if you guys did see it in 3D, help a fellow moviegoer out. Drop a comment. And I promise you guys, Our next review will not be a comic book movie review. I promise. So I know what I said about the punishment being decided today, but I figured, one, to give you guys more time, and two, since John's the one doing the drawing anyway, let's do it on his day. So it'll be this Thursday that the punishment will be decided instead of today. So if you guys have any new ideas, drop them in the comments. And if you guys don't know what I mean by punishments, last week I decided that I had missed my day. I hadn't posted on Tuesday for 2 weeks in a row. So I was like, no, this is unacceptable. I have to give myself a reason to, crack down on myself, to post on Tuesdays and not push it off and, be lazy. Because I just didn't have any motivation other than, oh, I need to. How far does that go, honestly? How many of you guys are students? You get what I mean. If you feel like you have more time, you'll take it. Yeah, this is just a motivational tool for me to be able to get done on time. So like I said, if you have any new ideas, drop them in the comments, and we'll get to see what I have to do next week on Thursday. Bye.